Hi everyone, welcome to Pace Yourself. I'm Mia Pacey, and today we're going to be talking about a reactive screen component on a screen flow. So these are called screen actions, and you might have seen them in the bottom right hand corner of menu make a flow screen element. But today I'm going to show you how it does the thing. So based on a selection on a screen. So here we've got an example. Welcome to the bulk email wizard, where you're giving it to someone on a home page, for example, and you say, who would you like to send an email to? Now you've got a bunch of complex logic behind a group of people here on the left hand side, and based on those selections you would like them to be able to see who they're sending it to. So as you see, as I start to select a contact group, people are showing up inside this data table. And then if I go back and deselect something, it comes through live. So it's a real-time search and populate of this data table. But how did we do that? So let's dive into the flow. It's actually made up of two different flows. So here, this is the screen element, which you might think is quite bare. Like there's no get elements, there's no collections. How are you showing that data table? So the data table is here, and it's actually getting it from a source collection. So if you look at the screen configuration as a whole, we can see on the bottom here we've actually got configure screen actions. So in our screen action, we've selected this auto launch flow. It goes through and gets the contacts we've selected and brings it back and puts it in a collection variable for us. You can see the output here from the flow. And what our data table is doing is just showing those collections. So every time you choose a group, it creates a string of text variables. So if you select CEO and CFO, they're all going to be in a string text. And what the flow is doing, let's go back to that configure screen element. The flow is using this screen element API from a screen component. I'll show you how we got there. See our screen component here. This is the one API name for our checkbox group, and the resulting outcome is a list, a text string. So this is the variable it places into this auto launch flow. So when it calls the auto launch flow, and here is our previously created auto launch flow, what it's doing is every time it comes through, it decides whether or not to go and get those records and bring them back for you. So here we've set it up to say, does it contain CEO? So does that input group, which is over here, our variable as a text available for input. And this is what we're pointing to from that screen flow. Does this text string contain the value CEO? And if it does find that the value is contained as CEO, it goes down the path and goes and gets the record based on the organization logic, where here it is title contains the letters CEO. It stores all the records and then assigns that collection of records to our contacts for output record variable collection. So we're using the add. And as you can see, as we go back down the decisions, each time we need to go and get some records, we're just going to then add them as well to that collection for output. So every time it comes through here, it negotiates whether the decision needs to go ahead or it doesn't. And if it does, it creates a large collection of records. And once it's done, we end and it pops back to our screen flow, where the output is what we're listening for. So as I configure the data table, I go in here and tell it which collection variable to use. And so here I'm actually using the screen action collection variable from the flow, the results of that flow, and the result of, in particular, the record collections for output. And then I go through and configure columns. So your rows are, you can select multiple. And in here, I've actually said we are going to default select everyone, so it's a bit easier for them. So I'm going to go again, results, contacts for output. And in our columns, we go ahead and add in a different field, whatever you want to add. Click done. You can see up here we've got account name text. This is actually a formula field on our contact record, but you can see in our left-hand side data table, it's not showing that account name text name. I'm using a custom label to just trim it down to the word account name, which is a standard feature of data tables. So go ahead and click done. We're going to have to save this one. And to do anything with the screen actions, your flow that's auto-launched from that screen has to be activated for you to be able to link it to that screen. So then we go back in and we click debug to see the fruits of our labor. Go ahead and click run. So we've just got our one screen element and you can see it's doing exactly what we told it to just previous. So perfect, we've got everything selected, and for instance, if they wanted to continue on this screen flow to then go and send the emails, you just have to unclick if they didn't want to send it to someone for a particular reason that the organization can't put into logical steps, and they want to just exclude that person for this one email send. If you want to know about how the next steps occur and you do send these an email, head back to my YouTube channel and there will be a new video coming up on Pace Yourself. So thank you for joining us. I look forward to seeing you on the next one.